I'll just add in here, when I was practicing as an orthopedic surgeon, we would sometimes get these, extremely morbidly obese patients that were, 500 plus pounds, and we'd want to if we needed to get an MRI on them, the hospital grade MRIs wouldn't work, and we would literally have to send these people to places like SeaWorld, where they would image large marine mammals. They had MRI machines. You literally have to send people to places like SeaWorld to get their MRIs done,
Wow.
which was just kind of crazy to think about, but that's, they're becoming almost a different species with
Yeah.
with that amount of weight.
So you're saying that I was a whale of a man?
I'm not saying that, but you want to
Well,
put that
you
in.
could. It would be true. Yeah, I was huge. I mean, 72 pants, 9X shirt. Yeah, my shirt was like a bedspread for most people. It was huge. So yeah, I had a few MRIs, and they would send me to specialized places for open MRIs. Just couldn't fit in the tubes. So
They're asking how tall you are, and I can't imagine at any height 500 pounds, unless you're like 11 feet tall, which I'm sure you weren't. But how tall are you?
5'10". 5'10". Yeah, yeah. That was a short little round pudge ball. Yeah, sure was. Well, a big pudge ball. But so in 2016, I was pastoring at the time, and I told my wife, I said, you know what? I've got to go. I've got to do something to get this under control. So I took a 2-week hiatus, and I went to a ministry close to where I live that allowed me to stay there for 2 weeks. And Dr. Baker, what I did, I did what I knew, and being a former power lifter and a weight trainer, and I've trained other people, for bodybuilding contests and things. I said, all right, so I've got to get my calories under control, and I've got to do something, even at 543 pounds, that's just going to shock my body. So what I would do during that 2 weeks, I would get up, and the first thing that I would do is I would go walk. My first day, I was really ambitious, and I had a 5-mile track that I walked. It took me like almost 6 hours. I was dead. I was calling my wife on the phone for encouragement just to make it the last mile. It was terrible, and I was sore for like a week. But so I would go out walking, and then at 10 o'clock, I took a Metrics shake, which is a company that produces a supplement, and then I would do that 2 o'clock, and then I would have salmon and a salad at 6. So without knowing it, I was doing about an 8-hour window, and I found out later it's called intermittent fasting. It was pretty good in that 2 weeks. But I actually dropped about 30 pounds in that 2 weeks. I think it was 32 pounds. But then when I came back home, all that weight loss stopped, and I was trying to do this exact same thing. So it worked for a short amount of time, and then frustration built back up. So from 2016 to 2019, in those 3 years, I did manage to lose 63 pounds, but that's 21 pounds a year. I mean, that's nothing. So in 2019, my wife discovered Dr. Jason Fung. I'm sure you're familiar with him, and started listening to his ideology. And at first I said, honey, that guy's crazy. You can't survive like that. And that's counterintuitive to everything you hear from nutritionists, and that you hear from the doctors, and that you read in the magazines. It's just that just doesn't make sense. Well, she talked me into trying it, and it ended up doing pretty good. That first year, I lost another 60 pounds, getting down to 1 meal a day. And, I started I think we started at a 4-hour window, ended up closing that down to just 1 meal a day. And that worked for a while. Probably the first 5-6 months, I lost weight, and then the last six months or so, it just kind of stalled. And so frustration built up again. And then in March of last year, we found you, and I started listening to you. And one of the things, I'll tell you this, not to give you the big head or anything here, Dr. Baker, but one of the things that I heard from you that resonated with me, you said, it doesn't matter if you follow a meat-based diet 100% all the time and you become religious at it. But you said you have got to do something to get off all the crap that's in the grocery stores and just start eating good quality food. And to me, that told me that you were more interested in the people that were listening to you and their health than you were just promoting your own ideas. And so I said, okay, that means a lot to me. That makes sense. So we started watching a little bit more of you and started branching out and listening to some of the other people. And so in March of last year, I really concentrated on the meat-based diet. I'm not 100%. I mean, some people might get mad, so don't get too mad. But I actually have a little bit of dairy, cheese on occasion. And once in a while, Dr. Baker, I'll have a piece of homemade cornbread that my daughter makes. So it's not 100%. Say I'm probably 98% carnivore, maybe more than that. But that's definitely the basis of my diet. And now, a year later, I'm down an additional, I think, 99 pounds this year. So I'm hovering right at that 100-pound mark, and I'll probably hit it. I know I'll hit it by the end of March. So in my first year, I will have lost over 100 pounds doing 1 meal a day with the carnivore diet. And it's just been fantastic. And in my video, I mentioned that it's the little things and the big things that make the difference. Being able to walk upstairs, without stopping halfway and huffing and puffing, and being able to walk in. This is a good one. I walk into a restaurant and I don't have to find a table that has chairs because I can't fit in the booth anymore. That's a small thing to most people, but to me that was huge. I went to Texas Roadhouse once when I was at near my heaviest weight, and actually broke the bench that I was sitting on. You talk about embarrassing. I mean, that was embarrassing. My wife was embarrassed. We just left. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. I can actually fit into booths, which is good, with space. And a large majority of that is because of the carnivore diet, and really focusing on good food and eating great quality food, and reaping the benefits from that. So thank you very much for your information that you've given to us.